Hello and welcome to Better Body Movement. This class is designed to help you start feeling well.
I have less pain, literally eliminate that pain.
I just feel better.
I can tell that my posture is changing.
Bright light in the day when we've done our workouts online.
Makes me feel so good about myself.
The back of the upper leg is known as the hamstring. The hamstring is essential for hip extension and upright posture. The hamstring is comprised of the biceps femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus. All three of the hamstring muscles cross both hip and knee joints. If you have difficulty touching your toes while your legs are straight, it's likely your hamstrings are too tight. So let's take a look at how to loosen them. We're going to start on the floor with a foam roller underneath the legs. Roll your body forward onto the hamstrings. Remember, you can try different leg positions. While you press into the foam roller, you can use your hands to also pull the foam roller into your legs. To increase the pressure, press one knee over top of the other, allowing all of your pressure to go into the foam roller. During this time, you can also extend the knee, straightening the leg, and then relax. Remember, choose a point that's tender while you allow the foam roller to work into the muscle tissue. To finish the work on the back of the leg, you can quickly roll back and forth. Another way to work the hamstring is sitting in a chair with a massage stick. Simply up into the back of the leg. Make sure the muscle relaxes. You can tell by how the massage stick works into the tissue. Loose tissue will allow the massage stick to move the bulk of the muscle. When using the massage stick, as you pull, finding a trigger point or part of the muscle tissue that is tender is likely. Remember to increase pressure in that spot and jostle the massage stick back and forth over top of the trigger point. Do not roll the massage stick during this technique. Let's look at an additional way to dig even deeper into the hamstring using a lacrosse ball. Sitting in a chair, align your body sideways so your entire hamstring is on the chair. Place the lacrosse ball under the hamstring. Using your hands, squeeze the bottom of the chair and the top of your leg at the same time. Extend the knee, then set the foot back down on the floor to create a contract-relax sequence. Choose a pressure that creates some pain in order to get the best results. After 7 to 10 repetitions in one spot, place the lacrosse ball in a new spot and perform 7 to 10 more repetitions extending the knee. You can also move the lacrosse ball further out towards the outside of the leg, working part of the IT band. Remember to select multiple parts of the hamstring, contracting and relaxing 7 to 10 times.
All right, looks like we are just going to get started right away this morning. Thank you for your patience and also working out with Noah. That was absolutely awesome, being able to take a week off down in Florida. Had a great time with the kiddos. It was the first time really that I've been able to sit on a beach, so it was really fun. Micah stayed with Grandma, and we took 4 kiddos down with us, so it was just it was a blast. We took a boogie board, and the kids learned how to catch a wave and ride it all the way up to shore, and it was just so much fun to go. But I could tell by about Thursday, we were leaving Friday. I'm like, well, it's a good thing we're leaving because it's time to get back to work. So missed you guys, missed being on here, going through our workouts together, but it was good to be away just for a little bit. Let's go ahead and run through our dedicates. Everything as far as I know is pretty much the same. Maybe there was a catch-up last week that I missed, but Lori's mom is doing dialysis 3 times a week, so still praying for both of them, her taking her mom to dialysis, but also for her mom through the dialysis. Ethan with his stage 4 liver and bile duct cancer, my friend's wife who was diagnosed with breast cancer, who's treating that through natural means versus going through chemo treatments and all the extra treatments like that. Sky Toyne, I have not seen a major update on her. Maybe there is one. I'm going to have to get caught up on emails here soon and check in on that. But as far as I know, transplant has been taking. I think I checked in on like it was Monday or Tuesday of last week to see how she was doing, and it seemed as though she just is still dealing with kind of the headaches, all that kind of stuff from the extra doses for making sure that it takes in her transplant. The transplant actually takes. So Erin's foot and ankle, still praying for her. Marsha gave me a thumbs up. As much as we know, she's.
They got the infection under control.
So infection's all good and under control. Healing up. So that's good. We want to be praying for that. Carol, hopefully Carol jumps on with us today. Would be fantastic because she was for core day. So hopefully we get to see her join in today, and we can even check in at that point. Kira with the return of her breast cancer. Do we have any updates on Kira and Marsha? No updates on Kira.
But I didn't get that far.
So just continue to pray for Kira and then Barb and Tom with their health as well. Now our verse of the day. Now to him, hold on, I've got my ADD kicking in something wicked. Background music playing. Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask or think, according to the power at work within us. Ephesians 3:20. There is so much more. There's so much more to what God has planned than what we have planned in our own thinking, in our own brains, in our own power. He has so much more for what he's going to accomplish in the world. And it is so cool and so exciting to think that we even get to be a part of that when we just relinquish control and say, this is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm not going to hold and cling fast to this myself because you can do far more abundantly than all I ask or even think. And he's already got it under control. So much power in that. So cool to have that verse and empower us in our week and our day. So exciting stuff. Let's go ahead and jump on over to our workout. Remember, it is a core day. So set up on the ground, ready to go, and then we will get cranking through this.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt.
Who was? Oh, yeah? Helping out with the old Irish stew. All right, very good. Remember, when we get started on this pelvic tilting, right, our first round is just focus on the core, right? We shouldn't be using our butt cheeks to lift or tilt the pelvis. We just want the core as tight as possible. So imagine something coming down and hitting your stomach, like a bowling ball's dropping onto your stomach or a medicine ball, right? Maybe that would actually help. Who knows? Let's find out. Marsha, it's only 20 pounds. It's only 20 pounds. Right? Here we go. This thing right here. Right? Imagine you're right underneath me. 3, 2, 1. Ugh!
3.
Stop it. Contract. Squeeze that core really tight. Awesome. Okay, get ready for the tilt with the knee fall out. Make sure that we compress that core squeeze nice and tight.
3, 2,
Firm squeeze all the way through, okay?
Tilt with knee fall out.
So we want to take, as the knee is going out to the side, do not let the pelvis shift or move on the floor at all, right? We should be able to hold that core so tight. The lower part of the pelvis stays in place. Your hips should not be wobbling on the floor as your knee goes to the side, right? So just like this, compress that core to hold it in place. Keep that tight as far as your knee goes. As soon as it feels like it stops and your hips would roll more, squeeze harder and bring your knee back up. Okay, then you can relax, redo it on the other side. I do want you to compress all the way through that movement, right? The knee goes out to the side, recompress as hard as you possibly can, bring the knee back up. Relax, compress, other side, out, re-squeeze, pull up, and relax. Okay, very good.
2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with adduction.
Okay, tilt with adduction. So grab that foam roller or a pillow.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with adduction.
Good adduction. So squeeze nice and tight. Doing your best all the way through.
That's halfway.
Good, tight squeeze. All the way through, right? So core compressed, squeeze your knees, release your knees, keep your core tight,
3,
and then let go of your core.
1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
Okay, tilt with knee toward chest or a march. Remember, you don't use your opposite foot to stabilize, so do not push your left foot down into the floor while your right one lifts. They should both be just set on the ground. Bring one up, back down to the floor, but hold and maintain that core compression all the way through.
That's halfway.
Very good. Tight squeeze.
3,
Core compressed.
1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with bridge.
Awesome. Okay, tilt and bridge. Remember with this, do not press your hips all the way to the ceiling, arching your low back, right? We want to lift as much as the core stays
2,
tight.
1. Pelvic tilt with bridge.
Okay, core tight. Squeeze firm, firm, firm. Again, doing your absolute best all the way through. Compress that core. Squeeze those butt cheeks really tight. Okay, so butt and belly on this one. Remember, feet should be about shoulder width apart. They should feel almost strangely wide.
That's halfway.
Okay. But compress and hold that core. Again, you shouldn't be arching your back as you lift. Compress and hold tight. Squeeze your butt cheeks as much as you're able, holding that core compressed. You've lost your core compression if you return to the ground and your back is off the ground, right? It's just ribs and hips. If that low back's not touching, squeeze and flatten it down. Okay, do your absolute best all the way through.
2, 1. Prepare for shoulder drops.
And remember, if you do join us online, please leave a comment down below. Let me know where you're joining from. Be absolutely fantastic. And also, if you have questions, that's the point of running a live class, is if you have questions about how to get more out of the exercises. Maybe something's not quite right for you, not working quite as well as you would like it to. Let me know so we can work through that together and make sure you're taking care of the best we possibly can, okay? Good core compression. Remember, with the shoulder drops, we're just allowing that arm to go overhead as far as it can. You're not forcing all the way to the ground, but what you're going to do is always return, regardless of how far it goes. You're always going to return by pulling the shoulder down and back into position. Okay, we're not going to return by just moving our arm and letting the shoulder hang up. This is about the shoulder blade. Okay, get that shoulder blade pulled down and back as far as you possibly can. Okay, good, good, good. Nice core compression, squeezing as tight as you possibly can through it. It is core day, so we want to work that.
3,
Very
2,
good.
1. Prepare
Awesome.
for dead bug.
All right, dead bugs. So get set and ready for that dead bug. Remember that medicine ball's dropping down onto your stomach. Press hard. You want to hold a
3,
box in between
2,
your legs and your
1.
arms.
Dead bug.
Right? So you should make a pretty decent square, like a box was just set right on your stomach, and your arms and legs are holding that box. You don't want to be switching that. Only extend your leg as far as your low back can handle. If your back lifts off the ground, that's a problem. Okay? Don't let that low back leave the ground. That means you might have to compress your core and don't extend your leg as far, right? You might not go all the way to the floor. That's okay. Remember, this workout is designed to get you what you need, not to do what anyone else is doing, right? Compress and hold. That core should be able to stay tight all the way through the extension. So only go extend as far as your core can tolerate.
3, 2,
Okay, very good.
long rest.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, round 1 complete. Let's get set for round 2. Remember, round 2, we want to be lifting about 50% of the weight off your feet. So when you get set in place, core is going to squeeze tight, and then you're going to lift 50% of the weight off your feet. So they're not going to leave the ground. You're just going to activate those hip flexors and see if your low back can stay flat on the floor. Okay, so activate the hip flexors, low back stays down, squeeze and compress your core harder, and then relax. Okay?
Three, 2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt. Three, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt.
Well, there was.
That's not today.
Oh, cool, yeah. Yeah. They did a pretty good job with that. Good pelvic tilts, core compression. So they, I think they had interviewed Ashley for that a little bit. Because they did the jump rope for heart. All the kids did jump rope for heart. And then they interviewed Micah with the school and just kind of shared some of his stories. So
2,
kind of neat.
1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
Awesome. Okay, tilt with knee fall out. So again, remember, as we get set for this, make sure that core stays tight as your knee goes out to the side. So we're going to
2,
brace that core.
1. Pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
Okay, right here. Brace that core nice and tight. Pull on the feet gently, right? Just activate those hip flexors. Make sure your core stays tight. Then go through the outward and back up motion, compressing the core the entire time. You should not lose any of this compression. So your hips should not roll on the ground. We have like earlier on. Okay.
That's
Good,
it.
tight squeeze. Again, days I feel like being really mean. When you're out to the side, I can press. Hips shouldn't move. Right? Body's tight. Core is firm. Marcia gets to be picked on. I can't believe she still shows up. Core tight. As hard as you can, right? Compressing
1. Prepare for
as we
pelvic
lift.
tilt with
Good.
adduction.
Okay, tilt with adduction. So grab that foam roller, pillow, whatever you've got at home, able to use. That's what we want. Make sure you can, again, recompress your core. Squeeze your knees really tight.
Pelvic tilt with adduction.
Squeeze that core. Compress those knees together. Lift the feet a tiny bit, right? We're not taking them off the floor, but activate the hip flexors, set the feet back down, release the knees, release the core, right? You only want to go as much as the challenge makes your core work. If your challenge is too much, if we're lifting the feet all the way off the floor and the back lifts off the floor, that's too much of a challenge, right? We don't want to do that. We want to just get to the border of that challenge where the core is like, oh, I don't think I can tolerate all of this. Squeeze harder and hold it there, right? Just don't want to lose that core through the exercise, okay? Core tight, squeeze firm all the way through. Compress hard, hard, hard.
Three, two, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
All right. So we're going to march. So the opposite foot should be light this time on the floor.
Pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
Okay. So again, compress, core tight. Gently start pulling on those hip flexors and then march, right? Don't ever lose that compression on that hip flexor unless it's intentional and you set them down, relax the core, re-squeeze the core, gently fire those hip flexors and then go through your march. Right? Tight squeeze, hold firm, hold firm.
That's halfway.
Press all the way through, all the way through. Again, this is your absolute best. Has nothing to do with what I'm doing on the screen, but you engaging and making it work to the best of your ability, right? Core tight, squeeze, firm, firm, firm. Again, as much compression as you possibly can get.
3,
Hold firm.
2, 1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with bridge.
Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with bridge.
And tilt and bridge. Compress that core. Squeeze your butt cheeks nice and tight. Firm fire all the way through. Obviously, this is one where we're not going to fire the hip flexors and lift the feet because the feet are pushing down into the floor. But we do want to do this one well. So if you're lifting from the hips, the shoulders should go straight into the ground, right? So we're not peeling off the floor like a sticker and then just settling back down as we go. We want to lift straight up, straight down, okay? So that low back should stay pressed against the floor even when you return to the floor. Core tight, 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 all the way through, ladies. Do your absolute best, your absolute best. Squeeze nice and firm, tight, tight, tight. Again, finish strong through each one of these.
2, 1.
Good.
Prepare for shoulder drops.
All right, shoulder drops. So again, compress your core, pull your shoulders all the way down and back against the floor and to your butt
3,
as much as you can.
1. Shoulder drop.
Good shoulder drops. Remember, up overhead, pull it back down into position. Shoulder blades down, back, as much as you possibly can. Good core compression. Squeeze, tight, tight, tight. Good, ladies. Absolute best. Do your absolute
That's halfway.
best. Compress. Squeeze that core. Tight, tight, tight. Shoulders down and back. Always continue to pull them down and out of your ears. Okay. Shoulders are not an accessory, so we don't wear them as an earring. Looks pretty silly. Looks pretty silly. Shoulders down, back, nice and firm. Compress, compress, re-squeeze, tight,
1. Prepare for dead
and
bug.
relax. Good. Dead bugs. So now let's apply both of those into the way that we do them. Remember, you can also do the bird dog. I'll show those here. Do not cat or cow.
2.
I want that
1.
core compressed and the
Dead
spine flat. Hold it firm, as tight as you possibly can. Good compression. Okay, so regardless whether you're doing the dead bug or the bird dog, either way, your core compression is what holds and stabilizes you, right? So if you extend and your body feels really wobbly, your core is not tight enough to hold you through the extension of both of those movements at the same time. And the reason we want to work that is because that's our walking pattern, right? Is arms are moving, legs are moving, and they move in alternate directions, right? Or in opposites, left with right, right with left. So as you extend, right, we want to know, how do I keep that core tight through a motion like alternate extension, left to right, right to left? We're building in those patterns on the floor before we go out and do this in a walk. So we do want to apply this even to a walk.
1. Long rest.
Very good. Very, very good. All right. Long rest. Grab a drink. Take a small drink if you need to. Then we will get going on round 3. Remember, with round 3, this time we are going to set a goal. That doesn't mean you have to do it, but the goal is to hover your feet while you create each one of these actions, except for the bridge. Okay? So the goal, again, lift your feet to a hover, just like my hand could fit under your feet, and then create your movements. This is very intentional. It's very thought-inducing. It forces the brain to connect the synapses from the brain all the way to the muscle tissue, so we fire things the right way. So think about how you're moving. Think about it. This is not passive motion just for the sake of movement. This is better body movement. Ha! Like that, Marcia? Yeah.
2. 1. Pelvic tilt.
Okay. Compress that core. Pull the knees, right? Hover the feet just for 1-2 seconds. Set them back down. Right? Nothing should change. This is what is really tough. Nothing should change in your core, your hips, your shoulders. All of that should be tight, compressed, hold firm. Pull the knees up, set them back down. Nothing should change, right? Nothing should change. Core firm, tight, tight, tight. Doing your absolute best all the way through. You're doing awesome, right? We just want to take it to that next level. Your biggest challenge is what is difficult, right? Get to what's difficult and you will see improvement. You'll see progress in the way that your body works. That's what we want, right? So force it, contract that core as hard as you can. Pull those feet up. Again, that low back or the hips shouldn't roll or move, right? You're completely firm, midsection through.
Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
Okay? This one you might reduce range of motion. You might not go all the way out because your hips might want to roll. So go only as far as your core can stabilize and your hips stay on the ground.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with knee fall out.
Here we go. Good core compression all the way through. Lift the feet out to the side, back up. Because again, this one's really tough because there's no third point of contact. It's just your hips laying on the floor and your back holding you down on the floor. So compress, tight, tight, tight. Hover your feet out to the side, back up. Make sure nothing changes. Nothing should change. Core, tight, tight, tight. Again, right here. Here it is, Marcia. 20 pounds. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Compress. Tight. Take that. Firm through all the way. Okay. Do not quit on yourself, right? It should be challenging. This should be very, very difficult. If it's easy, you're not doing it right. This is hard even for me, okay? So that should be encouragement. Should. Compress, compress,
Three,
compress.
two,
Squeeze tight.
1. Prepare for pelvic
Awesome.
tilt with reduction.
Okay, tilt with adduction, grab your foam roller. Remember, core tight, knees tight, lift the feet, set the feet down, release the knees, then release your core. It should stay on the whole time.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with reduction.
Here we go. Tight tilt, compress, so Kegel, core compression, squeeze those knees, lift the feet, hover, hover, set them back down, release the knees, now let go of your core. If any of that releases simultaneously, redo it, we'll retrain, okay? Get your brain on board, let's go. Tight squeeze, firm squeeze, lifting those feet, set them back down, release the knees, then release the core. Core tight, right? Core sandwich, first on, last off. You should not lose any part of that core contraction. Squeeze, hard, hard, hard. Do your absolute best. Very good. Awesome. Again, do your absolute best. Compress that core, squeeze really, really tight.
3,
All the way through.
2,
All the way through.
1. Prepare for pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
Awesome. Tilt with knee toward chest. So again, hover both feet. I do not want scissor kicks here. Both legs should not move
2,
simultaneously.
1. Pelvic tilt with knee toward chest.
Core tight. Hover your feet. One up, back down to a hover. Other foot up, back down to a hover. You might set them both down. Relax, re-squeeze the core. Hover, lift up one, back down to a hover. Don't simultaneously move them. Not at the same time, just one at a time. That is the hardest part of this one. It is so hard to make just one leg move even though the other leg is hovering. But do your best. I believe you can do it. I know you can do it. Just try harder, squeeze harder. We can get there. And again, we might not get there today, but we can do it, right? That's why we continue this progress. We continue this approach. Firm squeeze all the way through. Do your absolute best. Finish strong, core tight. Almost there, 7 seconds. Very good, Marcia.
2, 1.
Awesome.
Tilt with bridge.
Okay, tilt and bridge. We got 3 more to get through, and then we are all done for the day. We've done our work.
3, 2, 1. Pelvic tilt with bridge.
Here we go, tilt and bridge. Core compressed, feet just slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Make sure those knees stay out. They should not collapse in and kiss. Core compressed, squeeze through. Do your absolute best. Compress, tight, 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 tight.
That's halfway.
Core firm. Again, everything should be lifting, right? We're driving off the shoulders up in the air. Core and glutes firm, right? Pinch the penny between those butt cheeks, right? Hold in that fart. Compress, tight, tight, tight. Pretty graphic, but it works. Firm compression.
3,
Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
2, 1. Prepare
Awesome.
for shoulder drops.
All right, shoulder drops. So again, start by reaching for your feet. Get the shoulders out of your ears. Then, after you reach for your feet, pinch your shoulder blades together,
3,
right? Like
2,
you're trying to pinch the
1.
mat with your shoulder
Shoulder
blades.
drop.
Okay, get them nice and tight. Then hold the ceiling up. Remember, relax your arm as it goes up overhead. Pull your shoulder back into position. I want you in a good press pull position, because that's what we work on tomorrow. So guess what we get to do? Apply the knowledge of core bracing, spinal bracing, plus scapular stability. Then we can increase range of motion in the shoulder joints. We can also see an improvement
That's
in the
halfway.
back, hips work. So do your best through this. It makes a big difference. If you apply all of it as well as you possibly can, you will improve. Core, tight, tight, tight. Again, shoulders out of those ears, check them again, right? Always recheck, right? It seems like there's always a little bit more that we can get out of it, right? Squeeze again, Pull. Shoulders
3,
down, down, down.
2, 1. Prepare for
Awesome.
dead bug.
Here we go. Very last one of the day. Dead bugs. Set yourself up. Get ready to go. Or you can do bird dogs. Marcia likes to save this one for
3,
last.
2, 1. Dead bug.
Remember, core compressed. Hold that box between the arms and the knees. You can kind of see in my example there on the screen, it's like there's a box right in between. Think a cardboard box. And I'm just pulling, keeping my knees pointed straight to the ceiling, shins flat with the floor. On the bird dogs, do not cat or cow. Make sure you compress your spine. Maintain a tight, firm compression. Okay, all the way through, ladies, doing your best. Continue through it. Okay, hold, frame that position. Right, so that end range on the dead bug or the bird dog, I want you to frame it for 2 seconds. Hold, 1, 2, return. Other side switches, hold, 1, 2. If you want to hold longer than that, that's fine. Brace and stabilize it for 5 seconds. Whatever you need. Almost done, ladies.
3,
Finish strong.
2, 1. Long rest.
Awesome. Very, very good work, ladies. Excited to be back. Glad we're able to get going right back into this. Appreciate you joining in. Remember, like and leave a comment. Always make sure you subscribe. It's a fantastic way to make sure that we know how many people we are helping and affecting here with the work that we're doing. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, whether it's like consulting. I love responding and trying to help in any way that I possibly can. This is a resource for you to feel well, okay? So use it. That's what I'm here for. That's my passion and my desire is just to make this available to you so you can do and feel well and do the things that you love and enjoy. We're going to jump right back into our SMR for the day, going into those hamstrings. Remember, I so appreciate you. You are loved with all that I have. Remember, I am here to help you move well so you live well. Have an absolutely fantastic day. We will see you tomorrow for our upper body day.
The back of the upper leg is known as the hamstring. The hamstring is essential for hip extension and upright posture. The hamstring is comprised of the biceps femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus. All 3 of the hamstring muscles cross both hip and knee joints. If you have difficulty touching your toes while your legs are straight, it's likely your hamstrings are too tight. So let's take a look at how to loosen them. We're going to start on the floor with a foam roller underneath the legs. Roll your body forward onto the hamstrings. Remember, you can try different leg positions. While you press into the foam roller, you can use your hands to also pull the foam roller into your legs. To increase the pressure, press one knee over top of the other, allowing all of your pressure to go into the foam roller. During this time, you can also extend the knee, straightening the leg, and then relax. Remember, choose a point that's tender while you allow the foam roller to work into the muscle tissue. To finish the work on the back of the leg, you can quickly roll back and forth. Another way to work the hamstring is sitting in a chair with a massage stick. Simply pull the massage stick up into the back of the leg. Make sure the muscle relaxes. You can tell by how the massage stick works into the tissue. Loose tissue will allow the massage stick to move the bulk of the muscle. When using the massage stick, as you pull, finding a trigger point or part of the muscle tissue that is tender is likely. Remember to increase pressure in that spot and jostle the massage stick back and forth over top of the trigger point. Do not roll the massage stick during this technique. Let's look at an additional way to dig even deeper into the hamstring using a lacrosse ball. Sitting in a chair, align your body sideways so your entire hamstring is on the chair. Place the lacrosse ball under the hamstring. Using your hands, squeeze the bottom of the chair and the top of your leg at the same time. Extend the knee, then set the foot back down on the floor to create a contract-relax sequence. Choose a pressure that creates some pain in order to get the best results. After 7 to 10 repetitions in one spot, place the lacrosse ball in a new spot and perform 7 to 10 more repetitions extending the knee. You can also move the lacrosse ball further out towards the outside of the leg, working part of the IT band. Remember to select multiple parts of the hamstring, contracting and relaxing 7 to 10 times.
Message, which you can't read all of it because he doesn't have that on his little flip phone. Said it's internal medicine. I suppose that could be. She's trying to